All right, let's talk about why you still sound like a beginner, and more importantly, how to stop. Because I know the feeling. You've been at this for a while. You've practiced, you've learned a bunch of theory terms, maybe even memorized the circle of fifths, but every time you play, it still feels basic, like you're reading music's Wikipedia summary instead of writing your own novel. And it's not because you lack talent. That's a lazy excuse. It's because you're stuck in the beginner loop, and most people never realize they're in it. Here's what I mean. In the beginning, you focus on the obvious, learning chords, memorizing scales, trying to play cleanly without mistakes. And that's great, but these are just surface-level skills. They're the equivalent of learning to type without ever actually writing an actual story. You can type fast, but you're still staring at a blank page. And most people stay there forever, obsessing over technical drills, but never actually learning how to think like a musician. The reason you still sound like a beginner is because you're treating music as a checklist instead of a language. Beginners think, if I just master all these scales, I'll magically sound advanced. But music doesn't work like that. Scales are your alphabet, not your poetry. The problem is, beginners confuse accuracy with artistry. They think playing the right notes is the goal, when really, the goal is making the listener feel something. So, how do you stop sounding like a beginner? You need to break out of note reciting mode and move into music making mode. And here's the trick. Start creating more than you consume. Stop spending 90% of your time copying other people's songs and start spending at least half of your practice time writing, even if it's bad, especially if it's bad, because writing forces you to make musical decisions. It makes you ask, what do I want to say here instead of what did they say? Another huge step, start listening differently. Advanced musicians don't just hear songs, they dissect them. When you hear a track you like, pause and figure out why it hits. Is it the rhythm, the chord changes, the way the melody leaps at just the right time? Beginners listen for pleasure, pros listen for blueprints. Also, you need to work on dynamics. Beginners tend to play every note with the same volume, same attack, same everything. It's like reading a story in a monotone voice. No matter how great the words are, it's boring. Learn to play softer, louder, slower, faster, not randomly, but intentionally to shape emotion. That's when your playing starts sounding alive instead of robotic. And one last thing, stop waiting until you're good enough to play with others. Nothing will make you grow faster than playing in front of people, whether it's a band, a jam session, or even just a friend. Because music isn't meant to live in your bedroom forever. It's meant to connect. So here's the bottom line. You still sound like a beginner because you're thinking like one. The way out isn't another year of practicing scales in isolation. It's making music, experimenting boldly, listening like a detective, and sharing your sound with the world. Do that, and one day, you'll look back and realize the beginner version of you isn't even recognizable anymore.